Okay, Amasha, this is it.
What is it?
No more messing around, okay? Our listeners need you to get out of Sri Lanka.
By the way, hey guys.
Oh, hello everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. Sorry, Amma.
Good to be here. I married a Kiwi. Our podcast where we talk about how sorry Amasha is to have married a Kiwi.
Am I sorry?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound like I am. I'm very sorry.
So we got through the proposal last time.
No more proposal stories, guys. We're done.
It's done and dusted.
Unless you have a story for us to share.
Then please do comment.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, so we also talked about the New Year's KFC extravaganza.
Yes.
So I remember a lot of us through that time in Sri Lanka, what we did, which was really nice, was we did meditating at the same time. Do you remember that?
Yes, we did.
We
We really
did.
did. Yeah. That was very nice.
Because as we know on the very first date with Amasha, like one of her first questions to me was, do you meditate? And I was happy.
As anybody would ask.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the good questions to ask.
I mean, if that matters to you, if you want your partner to be grounded or like wanted to be on your wavelength, if that's what you are about. So
Some people might discuss other things such as bicycles. You know, there's a lot of things you can talk about.
Sam,
on the
you
first date.
gotta stop
stopping.
bringing up the bicycle.
I'm stopping.
Okay.
So we would, choose times where, okay, I'm going to meditate at this time. And then Amasha in Sri Lanka and me in New Zealand, we'd sit down and do the 10 to 20 minute meditation, sometimes listening to one of the guided ones, which was kind of nice. It joined us long distance. We
Yeah.
watched episodes of Friends. That was fun.
That was really fun, yeah.
Then we also had historic floods in Auckland during that time.
Yeah. And for some reason, whenever something crazy like that happens, I'm like, if it's happening in New Zealand, I'm in Sri Lanka. If it's happening in Sri Lanka, I'm in New Zealand. So
Well, it's just survival instinct, I think, which I don't have because I was flatting with my friends Nick and Lara at the time in Ponsonby, and I was going to my dad's that night, so I was walking to go get the bus.
yeah.
And I remember as I was leaving, Lara's like, "Oh, Sam, you sure? Like, you know, because there was dark clouds coming in. She's like,
Yeah.
you sure it's okay to go to your dad's?" I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. I think she obviously must have seen like a news report that I hadn't, because I was like, oh, it's a bit rainy, but I'll be okay. But then on the bus up there, it just started like the most torrential rain you've ever seen start coming down. And I got off the bus stop I was at and tried to hide in a Burger King nearby. And afterwards, like footage came out that like it was just flooding along the motorways and people were on a bus and they had like water coming through like down the
Yes, I
aisle
saw
of the
the
bus.
videos, yeah.
And meanwhile, my dad, who I was going to meet with, he had picked up Indian takeout for us and he was trying to drive with the Indian takeout through this like flooded motorway. So it was all like a bit fraught, really. I mean, it was terrible. A lot of people lost their homes. You know, the neighbour in Ponsonby lost 3 cars, I think, because the water was rising and he tried to reverse the car out of the driveway, but like not in time. And also another car was a convertible and the rising water short-circuited and opened up the roof and then all the rain went into the car.
That's very sad.
People lost homes. It was bad. The only advantage of this was the next day nobody was really out driving around, which made it very easy for me and Dad to go get your warrant of fitness for your car while you were in Sri Lanka.
Oh, yeah.
So that was handy.
Probably you must be the only one who said this. This is the silver lining. Sam, the positive guy.
Trying to look for a silver lining. Also, obviously, Amasha had stored all of her belongings at her friend Gowrie's while she was in Sri Lanka. So
I have a habit of when I'm leaving New Zealand for a significant amount of time, which when I say significant, it's a month for me. If it's more than a month that I'm out of the country, I most of the time pack my life and just like put my stuff in a friend's garage or something. So next time when I come back, rather than paying rent for the whole month, I have a new place. I'll
So
just
smart.
it's smart and just like at the same time it's so chaotic. I don't know why I did that. The other day, I think I was we were helping my friend pack her belongings and then get to her new place recently, and we were counting how many places that I have moved to in the last 5-6 years. That's just insane. Anyways,
strategic.
I was being, I was in a saving mindset, I guess. No, I think I wanted to just find new places and meet new people, and I was in my nomad era.
Yeah, we both had a very strong nomad era.
Yeah, so I did not want to be tied down to a place.
Unfortunately, Marsha stored all of her belongings in a driveway, like in a garage at the bottom of a very long concrete driveway.
I mean, how do I know it's going to be flooding? I don't think it has ever flooded in Auckland, the known history to me.
But most of it survived, which was good. And Dad and I,
Yeah.
went and checked it out. So
Which is
it was
very
all fine.
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
I
saw-
left my car near Sam's house.
I was so relieved I decided to park your car up on the road because that would have been you left me solely responsible for your vehicle to this guy that you'd known for 2 months at the time when you left
Yeah.
for Sri Lanka.
No, a month, because when I left,
Oh, yeah.
when I made the decision to leave my car to you,
Yeah.
it was only a month.
You're
so.
an incredibly trusting person.
I know. Is it stupid?
It worked out this time. So I saw photos of the Ponsonby house after I left, and it was just like there's a little driveway that goes down into a dip. So there was just a massive pool of water.
Yeah.
Like you had to swim through to get to our front door. Luckily, our house was on the rise, so the water kind of lapped at the doorway.
Didn't come into the house, which is lucky.
Yeah, but there was just all kinds of stuff like the neighbour's giant pot plant floating.
Like the red light, yeah.
Yeah, floating around. And it's like, Sam, the one night you leave, you abandoned us. So that was just to add to the epic saga of you being in Sri Lanka.
The chaos continues.
Yeah. Auckland anniversary floods. It was also pretty famous because the person who did social media for Auckland Transport at the time did a post on the Friday saying, well, looks like the rain's intensifying. Good luck, everyone. Signing off for the night because they'd finished their shift or something.
Oh, no.
And then everyone's like, I think you shouldn't be signing off. I think someone should maybe be in charge of this emergency. It was
That's a
chaotic.
bad call.
Never change, Auckland, never change. So, how was the rest of the stay in Sri Lanka for you after that? How were things with Amma?
I think, as I said, it was just try to be, because there's no way that I'm going to convince her. It was too soon, too close to heart, too soon. The water is already.
Hashtag too soon to the anniversary floods.
Yeah, probably not. Okay, another metaphor. No, it was a lot. So I kind of decided. I took my brother's advice and decided to just wait it out in a way. So the time heals a lot of wounds, right? And as simply as put, I said, I'm not ready for a marriage right now. I'm not in the space. Please leave me alone and do not bring me proposals. So that's where we kind of stopped it. I don't think we went to the conversation of what do we do with Sam now? Because as I think I've said a few times, so Amma kind of acted like Sam boy doesn't exist. So
Doesn't she also, she never referred to me by name.
no,
I was always
that boy.
that boy. I was kind of thinking that Sam's the sad dog stray that you picked up in New Zealand.
Yeah, it becomes too personal, I guess. Maybe because of that, she was trying to keep that distance.
And now I'm Sam Puta.
Putta.
Puta,
Yes.
which is Sam's son.
Yeah.
Yeah. How the tables have turned.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's where I was at, and in Valentine's Day, Sam just pulled a little bit of a stunt on his own. What do you have to say about that?
Well, investigative reporter. I just ordered some flowers and chocolates to be delivered, and the friend you were staying with in Colombo was nice enough to coordinate with me because obviously I didn't want to deliver it to your house in Martara. With
That wouldn't have been good.
throwing fuel on the fire. But I got some recommendations for flower companies, and it was really amazing, how far my money went
In Sri Lanka.
in the Sri Lankan Valentine's market.
And to the date, that is the best flower bouquet I have ever received. And I think that's even way more beautiful than... No, is it better than my wedding bouquets? Probably not.
I don't know, but I can say I don't think I'd ever seen anything that beautiful even in New Zealand. Even if I'd had thousands of dollars, I don't know where I would have purchased that.
Just gorgeous.
Was it white and red roses, but a huge amount of them in the nice green
Yeah.
kind of fernery around there?
That is a gorgeous photo. I'll just post a photo.
Yeah.
Why not?
I think it's time.
I think it's the time.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
And also, I got chocolates as well. They did really nice, heart chocolates. But then, as it was leading up to Valentine's Day, you kind of said something like, "Oh man, I can't remember what the comment was." but you were like, oh, like I just really want some chocolate. Like I feel like
I was joking, FYI.
to this day I cannot tell when Amash is joking.
I'm very sarcastic, and Sam still just like gets so confused sometimes.
I just take everything at face value. So I panicked at that, and then I went and ordered more chocolates from the same company, like another bag of chocolates to be delivered on top of the existing chocolates. And then you got her, and I also like let you write customized notes on them, right?
Yeah, that is so sweet.
But when you got to the apartment in Colombo, you didn't immediately see the notes. You were kind of confused if they were for you, who they were from. Talk us through that.
Yeah, because my friend was about to get married, and like there's a big giant, like I don't know, you had no connections in Sri Lanka, and it doesn't even cross my
I am
mind that
very
it was,
connected in
that it was from you, and Sri Lankans don't necessarily celebrate Valentine's Day. Now people do. Mum was just telling me about like some other celebration of some cousin. I was like, oh, these things that they bring from Westerners and then do everything, and I'm like, well, it's like if people find a reason to celebrate something, who cares? But yeah, anyways, so there's a lot of like Western trends are coming to Sri Lanka and Asian countries now. So now it is a thing, but probably not as much in the back in the day. Oh God, I sound like a grandma. But no, I honestly thought that was for my friend who I was staying with, because like, I mean, obviously she was about to get married, and like it's their Valentine's Day right before the wedding sort of thing. So it's like a big giant, like it's not a small flower bouquet. It was gorgeous and giant. Huh?
I was like, it was not small.
It was not. So
Over the Top comes to mind.
it was, yeah. So
I'm really glad you loved it.
I loved it. I really loved it. And
I have a lot of anxiety around trying to do the right thing for like Valentine's or birthdays, so that time nailed it.
You nailed it. And my friend's mother was confused, and because she has no idea that I have anybody that I'm dating. That's the whole
That's
thing.
true. How was that explained?
I think that's the point I decided to tell her, sort of. And she was very open-minded about it. So
I think you said that her perspective was more that.
yeah, she was very open-minded.
She saw some of the pros of.
Yeah. I was like, huh, okay. But yeah, but I was about to go home for the weekend, and then I wasn't ready to leave that my ginormous, big, gorgeous flower bouquet
Absolutely
in Colombo.
gorgeous flowers.
I was not ready to leave it behind, and I took it home, and Amma was like, oh, there was like, I think that was like the last weeks of me finishing off work in Colombo as well. And I am ashamed. I do not lie very easily. I'm not saying I never do, because sometimes I would say a white lie just to surprise somebody or something like that, or to avoid a weird situation. But this is like probably the first time I actually lied like that. I told Amma, my friends gave it to me as a farewell.
Like your batchmates, did you say?
I like the workmates, like the people that I worked with.
Workmates, yeah.
I don't think they would have done that. It's a lot. Probably Amma knew in so many levels. She's too smart to get it.
She is a very smart woman.
I will tell her that, actually, and I'm pretty sure she will tell me I knew. So
I was also sad for Sam, because I'm like, I don't even get points with Amma for this. Like, I can't even claim the credit.
what happens next?
Sundani and Nigel came to visit in Minorca and Jaden.
Oh, yeah. So around the same time, my two good friends of mine who lives in, like, Sri Lankans, who both of them were brought up in New Zealand, like from a very young age. So they're like technically Kiwi, although they have Sri Lankan parents, and then they were born in Sri Lanka. Both of them are married to Kiwis, and funnily enough, they both happened to be visiting Sri Lanka, not around the same time, but like with a few weeks apart while I was in Sri Lanka for that 3 months, which was amazing because in so many ways, one, I got to have them in my house and treat them well, and then like feed them, just make food for them and all that kind of stuff, and then show them around and stuff.
You like getting to feed people?
I do love that. I love hosting, and my mom does too, and she's just somebody who just, you know, eat Buddha, like eat everybody. So yeah, so they both happened to come visit us, and I was thrilled. These are very, very successful intercultural marriages, both of them like relationships. Sandhuni and Nigel were married at the time. They have been together for like years and years. And then Manalka and Jade and my friends, they were married for a long time. By that point, they have kids, and like they're very, very amazing couples. And I looked up to them. They were very, very devoted to each other and all that kind of stuff. So they were not like we were just married for the heck of it or like together for the heck of it kind of couples. They were very involved in lovey-dovey couples, and I loved that, and I wanted Amma and my family to see that, to prove a sort of a fact that it's fine. And sometimes just because you're from the same ethnic background doesn't make you a good match. So I don't think Manalka and Jaden got that much of a conversation with Amma about that, but I think Sandhuni later told me that, because Sandhuni stayed with us 1 night or 2 nights, and Amma actually tried to convince her to get to talk to me, and then just kind of like, it's sort of like talk some sense into her. Like, your parents would be fine because they have been living in New Zealand. They understand.
This is what she said to Sandhuni.
Yeah, so they come from a different background, so to say, because like Sandhuni's family lives here. So they can speak English. They can communicate
Kiwi
with...
Sri Lankans.
Yeah. They can communicate with Nigel, and their families would understand. Like, obviously Sandhuni was brought up in New Zealand, so this is not that big of a step or like a massive deal. But for Masha, her whole family lives here. We can't communicate with a Western person who can't speak Sinhalese, and then our families would not accept this, or our families wouldn't understand this sudden like crazy step. So can you please talk some sense into her, sort of thing? So Sandhuni told me about this, but obviously she wasn't trying to talk me out of it. Yeah. But one of my very good friends, I'm saying her profession just to prove a fact that she's very educated. She's a doctor. We grew up together. We went to the same school and all that kind of stuff. So I was telling her about you at this, like within this 3 months time. I think I saw her briefly, and what her answer to me kind of like make me very surprised and like make me very sad for so many reasons, because what she said to me is that she told me to stop dating a white guy just because he's a white guy or something, but what she said is like, at least if you marry I think this is like throughout the proposal conundrum as well. She said, if you marry through a proposal, like somebody who parents found for you, at least if it didn't work out, you can put the blame on them and said, you found this guy, so not my fault. In my head, I'm like, if it didn't work out, I'm already screwed up. Why would I care whose fault that is?
Yeah, that's not much of a silver lining.
That is not a silver lining at all. But someone who's that educated, who has world of experience and knowledge, and you deal with so many different people every day, you see so much. It's not like just any other profession, but still for you to think that proposal marriages are better just because you can put the blame onto the parents and then that's the easy way out, that makes me sad for like a lot of girls in our cultures. I'm like, what's the point? Why am I gonna be like, why is it she's not the first one who has said that though. So, but that was the most recent person who told that to me. I was like, I see your point, but if I do something wrong in life and if it didn't work out, I would rather it be because of my mistake, and then I can be like, shit happens. I screwed up. It's fine because it's my decision. Yeah. So yeah, it's just insane how people sometimes think, you know. Yeah. But somehow I got to kind of like, I was like, look, Nigel is such a sweet boy. Like he just takes care of, he takes care of Sandhuni like so sweetly.
You're saying to Amma, play your cards right and the son-in-law could be yours.
Yes, I was like, no, look how he takes care of Sandhuni. Like he treats his girl like a princess. So it is so beautiful the way they handle their relationship. And I was like, Amma, look.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. So that was a good thing.
Yeah. But even I remember Sandhuni was one of the ones, like one of the few people at the time counselling you to be more cautious with it, right?
Yeah, I think she has a bit of a story as well. I haven't told her, I haven't talked to her before prior to this podcast, about her story, whether it's okay to share it or not. So I'm not gonna. But I know from like as a lot of intercultural couples, like she had to deal with it a little bit, not to the extent obviously that we had to go through, but in the very beginning, she was also like, what are you doing? Yeah. Sort of thing. So she comes from a massive understanding. Same with my two other friends as well. So both of them had to just talk to their parents and then make them understand that we are doing this. We know we love these people, and then we know this is what we want. So there's a little bit of persuasion and convincing to do, to be done from both for both the girls, I think.
I think it made sense that Sonali also was, maybe more friends should have been giving that advice, which was, you've just known this guy for 2 to 3 months.
Yes, so, she was not that I was ready to jump out of the house and run away with you. Not that I was hey, let's be realistic.
After those chocolates, bet you
and
were.
And flowers was like, Sam, let's run away. No, again, not that dumb. So Sundari was like a sounding board. She was like, I can see he's a good guy, but let's not jump to conclusions. Mm-hmm. Let's just take a chill pill. Let's just talk to people, just date him, but don't make sort of rash decisions.
So that was towards the end of the Sri Lanka trip, really. So,
and then I came to New Zealand.
Then you came to New Zealand. Who would have thought that should come back?
Oh my God.
And also you didn't have to fly back and purchase an early flight back. You made it the whole 3 months.
I did, made it through the whole 3 months.
And there was a lot of great things.
It was great things. Yeah. We did a few trips. I did a immediate family trip, the 5 of us, and my family, in the sense my brothers and my sister-in-law and my mom and dad, and we had a great time. And all of our cousins did a trip. Oh my God, so much laughter. I actually told some of my I don't have many older sisters, but I have a few older sister cousins in that group, not in the immediate family, but the extended cousins. One of them, I actually lived with her a few months when I was doing an English course right after school. So I got very close to her. She's like a big sister to me. I'm kind of close to her, and I kind of told her about the whole story. She's one of the most open-minded people in the family, I would say. She was very sweet, actually. She just told me it's okay. Parents are going to come around. Don't you worry about it. It's going to be fine. But I think she also said just let's take it slow and just things will work out. But the loveliest thing that she did was that she gave me a gift when I left after the 3 months. She gave me 2 little kind of a wooden how would I describe it?
They're little wooden carved
figurines, depicting a marrying couple, a bride and a groom.
It's the traditional Sri Lankan bride
outfits,
and groom, right?
Yeah.
The groom has a big mustache.
Yeah, apart from that part. It's kind of a manifestation, I felt.
Yeah, which was really, really sweet.
Yeah, so literally a year, probably not even a year later, we were married.
Whoa, spoilers.
Oops. So yeah, I really appreciate her for that. That gift gave me a little bit of a hope and manifestation.
And we still have them in the house this very day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on display now.
Yeah.
In the house.
Manifested.
Yes.
I also remember doing a brief, very awkward video call with Aya.
In one of those trips, I was like, Aya, do you want to talk to Sam?
Poor Aya. It's probably just the shock of finding out about this and then trying to get his head around it and being I'm on board. I don't know if parents will be on board.
Yeah.
And now you're hey, do you want a video call with my...
And we were in hill country, up country, middle of in Sri Lanka somewhere. The reception was terrible.
I just remember being video called into this beautiful misty jungle, and you guys are on a balcony of some wooden bungalow.
Yeah, and we were just both right, hello, and can't hear Sam, whatever he's saying.
I was on the spot because Aya is obviously the older brother. He's kind of takes on the, I guess, that kind of patriarch type role.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get his approval, but awful lagging reception. And I was can you hear me? Hi Aya, can you hear me? And I'm kind of dancing around. And then
just to get the attention.
He's just kind of staring at me Hi, Sam. And then I'm sure I like texted you afterwards, like, please tell him that I'm a normal person. Ayul.
Oh gosh.
What did he say anything after that?
It was so busy. We were just just pack. We covered a lot of ground in that trip, and it was the first time we were traveling as the family, like with Madhi and stuff too. So it was just like I'm trying to like make friends with my sister-in-law who I didn't have gotten a chance to. I mean, I saw her at the wedding, but apart from that, like I didn't have that much of a connection with her. So I was like trying to spend enough time with her. And yeah, sort of things. And so it was a lot. But when I asked Aya, I can't remember what he said. Sorry.
It's okay.
Not that good. He didn't definitely say that. He's like, who's that weirdo? He didn't say that.
But that was good. By that point, I video called with your younger brother Sammy and older brother Aya. So I'm slowly, the family's slowly getting exposed to me.
Yeah, one at a time.
One at a time. So what were the feelings when you headed back, when you're at the airport flying back to New Zealand? What were you thinking? What was it like saying goodbye to family?
I couldn't wait. It sounds horrible, but I couldn't wait to get back. But given the circumstances, I think I wanted my space, and I wanted
You're just being torn in so many directions.
Yeah, so I wanted to feel like I am in control, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think I did the stupidest thing of like I just left my fully permanent, very boss girl job right before I just introduced told my parents like I'm going to do something that I the way I want.
You talked about
without that independence, which
you talked about that too, because some people counseled you on that. Like if you have your own income and your own role, then you have that ability to be like, well, I'm independent. I'm going to do my own
whatever I want,
make my own decisions. But because when you went back, you didn't immediately have a role to return to.
Yeah, that's why I'm a massive, massive advocate for girls to have that financial independence.
Yeah.
Because I actually felt that at the time, because like now I am although I was doing a job in Sri Lanka, I wasn't getting big bucks out of it or anything like that. As a woman in like Asian cultures, at least in Sri Lanka, it's not a big deal for a girl to be dependent on parents until they're getting married. So nobody looks at it in a bad eye. Nobody batters an eye. That's so normal. Nobody talks anything out about it. But for me, being independent, especially like living abroad for 5-6 years, I took care of myself. I did my job, I earned my money, and I just lived the way I want. Nobody was there to tell me, don't do that, don't do this. I made my decisions. But then I was in a place when I was introducing Sam to my parents, I have already given my notice and I have lost that independence. And at the point when I was actually meeting my parents with this piece of information, I was actually out of a job and I don't have an income coming through my way, and I'm actually in their mercy in a way. I'm putting on air quotes here.
I think it's like hard to understand it from the New Zealand perspective, because like you still had residency in New Zealand, you were still, headed back and had a life there, but it was almost just like the psychological aspect of it, of the parents knowing that you...
But at the same time, like, I don't have a job. I'm not getting money just because I have residency. I'm not going to be relying on the government to pay me.
I know, but you could have been living, homeless in the gutter, and that was still your decision to make. Been there.
I don't know if I'm that bold. It's very hard when you don't have that independence to be like, you know what? Don't care. I do whatever the heck I want because I can. Because at that point, I couldn't. So financial independence is very important.
Yeah, it makes a lot of differences.
Yeah.
You don't realize how it's affecting those decisions.
Yeah.
So what was the goodbye at the airport like?
Amma and Tata and my friend who I was staying with and another friend, a lot of people came to say goodbye. It was very lovely. And I was very excited to see Sam.
Yeah. It's been a long 3 months for Sam.
What were you feeling like when you were waiting?
I'm not sure. I mean, I clearly remember the COVID clinic thing, because it was such like a clear illustration of hitting the bottom of things weren't going my way physically, chemically. And then the proposal coming through then as well. And then obviously the historic flooding. I don't know. I know I must have been like at the end of my uni studies around then too. And like, I think by then I had it clearly in my head after being kind of like a writing artist vagabond for all my 20s. I'm like, knew once I finished the my honours, like I'm like, I need to find a 9 to 5. Like I need to find some kind of role which your parents will find acceptable. It was twofold. One, it was like, I want to be, an equal part of our partnership, and I want to have something a role that the parents will respect, but also I'm like, if I don't find one of these jobs now, I'm never going to, I'm going to be the nomad for the rest of my life.
Now or never.
It was very much now or never moment. But obviously, I was like, so many emotions, not knowing you're being torn in so many directions. All of our communication about this really difficult situation is long distance, and therefore like slightly imperfect, because you can still miss details and context through that. Obviously I was still head over heels in love with you completely and wanted that reality, but I'm sure even at that point I was like, will the parents ever be on board with this? Are we going to have to just let you marry some guy? And I'm like,
what's the plan?
like in the past I'd gone to quite like long distances as like the hopeless romantic, maybe like not looking after my own self-care, and I'm like, maybe letting the woman that you love marry some guy so you can wait till she gets divorced isn't like the smartest self-care plan.
You considered it. We considered it.
We did. I mean, that was like my
That's
least
effed up.
It was my least desirable option.
Okay.
That I was looking at.
Good to know.
But I was open to that. Yeah. So I was very excited that you were coming back, because I remember so vividly, when we went to Mum's birthday the day before you flew out, and we were at that gig together. That was like,
yeah,
it was a beautiful moment, but it was tinged with a sadness of like, is this also our last goodbye? So I guess it hadn't felt totally real until then that you'd be coming back. So I was very excited.
That's lovely. I mean, it is not fair for me to expect you to build a career just to impress my parents. But at the same time, I was very, very, very grateful that you just, I respect your writing career, and I have immense respect for you as an author. Like how great your work is. Like you're working on publishing your second book in your second series, which is amazing with all the work you're doing. And I know writing a book is not easy. I'm struggling to read the freaking book, so I know how hard can it be. But at the same time, it's very hard to explain an artist career for Asian parents.
I'm aware that we were already doing this relationship on high difficulty with the parents. And I didn't want to do it even higher difficulty. Like, he's white and an artist. I mean, obviously, it ended up being kind of a good thing, because it turns out like writing books, there's like a lot of respect around that, right? Like I knew that.
Yes, yeah. Especially from my mother, who writes like
she's
in her
wordsmith
own rights,
her
and then
own,
she's amazing on that. And I'm just convinced. I'm trying to convince her to write. Like for the longest times, like please put, like she's amazing with writing poems and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let's put them all together and like publish. She's like, okay, let's see. But now she's doing a scheme of trying to. She has a wonderful friend of hers who's an amazing published author. She was bringing up with that author friend a few times to get your books to be translated to Sinhalese.
It was so sweet. The idea of her trying to translate them to Sinhala would be amazing.
Yeah, so I think she's still on that plot. She's still trying to get it done. For her, she was very impressed that you're an author. But financially, I don't think they would have been agreed.
I mean, the added thing that you're over here and there's the unknown. So
yeah.
I mean, any parents would want to know in that context they're being provided for, but even more so they need the reassurance. And it was twofold as well. Like I've always been very interested in politics and government, and I'd always kind of been having to ignore that part of my life for the favour of the writing and getting those off the ground. So but that all kind of hit ahead once you came back from Sri Lanka.
Yeah. And that's another thing, actually. I'd always try to put some plugs here and there just to explain, because this is about relationships, not just the two of our relationship. Because I have heard girls talking about you have to have the guy in the perfection when you're finding the person. These are very, very shallow, but six-figure salary, let's say, like has to have a house, has to have a car, has to have this side of a career, like has to have this job, has to have this kind of physique and all these things. Like you have to have the complete perfect version of what you want. But that's not the whole idea, right? People change and people become and people evolve and people do greater things as they go along. And that's the best part about finding somebody and then growing and building something together. And I don't want to skip ahead here, but this is Aya, your older brother. I remember he told me something incredibly similar to that once I actually met him in person. I think it was maybe when the two of us were just driving together, but he said something like, your family like strongly believes that it's not finding someone in the perfect role, because people can grow in their careers, they can grow into bigger roles, right? But the type of person in the heart, like that's what doesn't change. Exactly. Yeah. The person who they are inside is what you can't. It's very hard to change.
It was really sweet. He didn't say like just coming from him. It was more like, this is the family's like agreed.
That is so sweet.
Yeah, super sweet.
So yeah, and for girls, if you're dating, just don't focus on the superficial things, because people can change and evolve and become greater. But they have time to do that. But just pick the person with a good heart.
Totally. Yeah. And because when I met you again, I was like nomadic writer artist, and then shortly after you got back from Sri Lanka, I found the job, and since then it's only been 2 years, and I've had 2 other jobs.
You had an amazing career.
we were just looking at photos for the ideas, trying to remind ourselves of what happened, and we kept thinking we looked like so baby-faced 2 years
back. Were. We were like, oh my God, are we like 19 in these photos?
I don't know if it's maybe, is it just our perspective of like...
Probably.
Or just that how much we've been through in those 2 years.
I don't know.
Because
feels very matured. Yeah. The adulting.
Yeah. And that fraction of time I went to entering... 9 to 5 gainful employment and getting a house and a cat and a wife. Not in that order. Let it be known.
Dude, I'm the last importance, okay. I'm the last
the cat does not come... nothing, no.
Okay. Too late now.
That was reverse order. Reverse order. Can we edit this? Can we reverse edit?
No.
Okay.
Sam is in big trouble. Okay, I think... On that note.
I was like, please don't end on this note.
No, I think, I think it's very, very important just to look for the right things, and like those like superficial things that are constantly changing, like the job and like where you live, how you dress, or like
it's very much the same person,
whether you
had
a beard or not.
Okay, well, let's not fixate on the beard. That was very easy. I just didn't have to do anything, and it grew.
I'm saying like the things that are from outside, but like inside you were exactly the same person to the date.
Yeah,
so
you too. Okay.
So we'll see you next week in New Zealand.
For the next chapter of
Sorry, Amma. I'm
married a Kiwi.
See you guys.
Have a great week, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.